there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su. Oh, Su.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people, search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Hi, good night. My name is Mark Benshop. Welcome to Straight Up. We're going to rock and roll for 1 hour and, read some of your comments. And we just take it one step at a time tonight. And that's about it, right? So how many of you guys remember this night? The 30th of January, 2006. Ronald Waddell was assassinated according to information, assassinated as a result. Orders coming from big boys in the PPP regime. I don't know if Jack Day is included in the big boys who ordered the assassination of Ronald Waddell. But at that time, the rumors were just all over the place that he was murdered by members of the Phantom Squad. And back in those days, the Phantom Squad, headed by Roger Khan, connection to the PPP regime. And so Jack Day may have to answer some questions whether he had any knowledge or whether he passed the order for Ronald Waddell to be assassinated. And this is something still on the blood on the hands of the PPP regime. And so when they want to talk about blood and hands and whatever, this is a perfect example, blood on the hands of the PPP regime. And so on a night like this, the 30th of January, 2006, and you guys know where I was at that time, when senior officers delivered the news. Well, some of them were happy. Some of the prison officers were happy. But majority of the people in Guyana were not happy. They were not happy. Blood on the hands of the PPP regime. And I repeat, blood on the hands of the PPP regime. Now, we had our parliament today. Well, not our parliament, but, they had their parliament because the parliament is controlled by the corrupt PPP regime. And guess what? I am almost certain, unless I missed it, I am not sure whether any member of the opposition, any MP of the opposition, reminded the PPP regime about this assassination. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any one of them reminded the PPP regime about this assassination. And some might be asking, what's the relevance? Well, it is relevant. And we've got to keep these things in the minds of young people. We've got to remind them what the PPP regime has done over the past 23 years, or just the 23 years that they've been in office. And they have done a lot of horrible things, lots and lots of horrible things. And so they, according to information, senior members of the Guyana police force were aware of this assassination. It was planned by some serving members of the Guyana police force, ex-members of the Guyana police force who were all part and parcel of a phantom squad headed by Roger Khan. Roger Khan and his gang, his goons. And it is said that the gang, the Phantom Squad, of course, we first learned of the Phantom Squad by Roger Luncheon, who he's now dead and gone. I'm sorry about that. My facial expression is not that he's dead. Roger Luncheon is dead and gone. It's I'm looking at the operator, actually. And so Roger Luncheon, at that time, he was head of the Presidential Secretariat, and he exposed the existence of a phantom squad, a killing squad. We later learned that the killing squad was linked, the phantom squad was linked to the PPP regime. The drug lords were all linked to the PPP regime. And so they formed a killing squad with guys like Kazerki, guys like Sean Hines, and others. And there's still some killers in the midst. There are some killers right out there in Guyana who are disguised as so-called businessmen. There's still those guys out there. And so they linked up with the PPP regime, and they were killing people left, right, and center. And some of the guys a lot of the guys were killed. Some of them had maybe slight brushes with the law. And then you had criminals are killing. They were killing sometimes innocent people And if someone was accused of a crime, imagine criminals saying they don't like criminals and they're out there to protect the nation, and they don't like criminals. Drug lords are criminals. Money launderers are criminals. Tax evaders are criminals. And so those are the people who were pooling up whatever drug resources they had, and they were teaming up with the members of the Guyana police force and the then corrupt, murderous PPP regime. And so they ordered the execution, they ordered the assassination of Ronald Waddell. He was riddled with bullets, about 21 bullets. 21 bullets, 21. This is a scar as he drove out of his yard. They were sitting and waiting, and they slaughtered him. The police, members of the Guyana police force, they allowed the getaway car to get away. That's it. The shooters in the car, they just allowed everything. And so when Jack Deere wants to talk about blood on hands, it is quite possible that Jack Deere has blood on his hands. And not just the Ronald Waddell assassination. There are lots of other assassinations and killings and so forth. And folks, you must never forget the day that Ronald Waddell was assassinated under the corrupt, under the murderous PPP regime. And it is sad that not one mention by the opposition MPs, not one mention. Maybe most of them don't know, maybe most of them can't remember, or maybe they just don't care. And sometimes when you talk, when you talk and you expose these things, some of them in the opposition get vexed, their bumps raise, and so forth. They get vexed, the bumps raise, and some of them are going to be talking amongst each other that Ben Shap said that they never mentioned, not a word before all we're hearing is Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. Since when, what sort of accent is that? Since when they talk, Mr. Speaker? They're all trying to sing, well, not really all of them. Some of them, y'all know already that Nemo Flubess is my favorite. Well, right. There's something about her that I like in terms of her energy. There are a couple more that I admire, right? But I just like mentioning Nemo Flubess, Member of Parliament. At least she doesn't go there and say, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. Right? Some of them in the opposition, something else. Mr. Speaker, who you call a clung like Manzoor Nadir? Mr. Speaker, let's call him Manzoor, right? I know it's Parliament, but, Mr. Speaker. That's it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. But not one of them got up, though. Not one of them got up and say, Mr. Speaker. Or all of them should stand for at least 30 on the 30th. 30 seconds, stand up and let Parliament know that you stand, you're rising, you stand up right now in memory of Ronald Waddell. In memory of Ronald Waddell. Mr. Speaker. Anyway, but tonight we remember Ronald Waddell. He was murdered, assassinated under the PPP regime. I notice Carl Miller is saying that I'm talking about Walter Lawrence. If I want to talk about anybody, I'll mention their names. I'm talking about all of them who say, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. They're more British than the British. They're more British than the Queen and the King and the Princess and the Prince. Mr. Speaker. You just put a little song behind it. Mr. Speaker. All right, Binny Raman, how are you? Mark all the names in is on a monument at Boxton. 400 young black men murdered. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Benny. It's in Boxton. Mr. Speaker. Anyways, good night, all of you. How are you doing? Some folks have been complaining about the 8:30 time. I don't know what time they want me to be on. Some folks have been talking about about the time and that I come on too late. Well, it's 9 o'clock going on 10 o'clock Guyana time. That's all I can. It's 8:30. It's 8:48 my time, and y'all just set y'all alarm clock and y'all stay up late, and people go out. They go to the fish shop. They go late to the fish shop. They go all over late. They go on the seawall doing all sorts of things late, but just to watch a show. Some of them complaining that Mark is starting your program late. Mark, your program late. Good night to all of you. My name is Mark Benshap, and welcome to Straight Up. Some of the murderers might be watching right now. They might be watching right now. Some of them probably went down 6 feet under already. Well, good. Gone. Good riddance. Because what they have done to that nation under the PPP regime, only God knows. And 95% of the things have not been revealed. What the PPP did to Guyana, what the PPP did to Guyanese, what the PPP did to young people, and what they were able to do to destroy lives, destroy families, and all manner of things. Demonic, in every sense of the word, demonic. You're staring the demon right there. Demonic. Wicked, corrupt. Why you think the country is the way it is? It is demonic. Look this one, Sam Hines. Make America great again. Make Sam Hines drink Caro again. Make Sam Hines an idiot again. Oh, Father. Oh, Joylyn, Cutting, how are you doing? Yeah, your mother-in-law passed away. She's gone. Good woman. She was a good woman. Oh, yeah. Condolences to you and the entire family. But back to Sam Hines. Look at Sam Hines. Look at him. Make Sam Hines walk from Maikoni barefoot again. And the people of Linden rescued that man. The people of Linden rescued that man. Oh, yeah. The people of Linden rescued him. And he turned out to be ungrateful. Ungrateful SOB. Ungrateful man. Ungrateful. I guess that is life, right? You meet some of them. What else is happening in your neck of the woods? Let me just say hello to the relatives of Ronald Waddell. Some of them might be watching. Some of them might be watching tonight. We are with you. And as you know, Waddell was a very good friend of mine. He was there in every protest and all sorts of things. He meant well. He meant very well. In fact, the Boxton market was started. And those who know how it was started, Ronald Waddell was one. In fact, one of the founders of the Boxton market. And I was there as one of the founders of Boxton Market. But it's not about me and being a founder or whatever, but Ronald Waddell was very instrumental in ensuring that the people of Boxton and other communities save their monies, keep their monies amongst themselves within their communities, and so forth. And so the Boxton Market was up and running for a while, and then it stopped. I hope the people in Boxton will restart that market again and get that market up and running, and where you're able to sell your stuff. Sell your stuff. Denise Booker says, yes, Mark Benshop, you were there. Of course. Of course. But what the PBP and the drug lords had in mind, they didn't like people who stood up against them. They just didn't like people who stood up against them. And so they jailed some, you know what I mean? And they assassinated some, and some left the country. And so every time Bharat Jagdeo opens his mouth to talk trash, I sometimes wonder who this guy thinks he's talking to. Who he really thinks he's talking to, as though people forgot what he did to Guyana, as though people forgot what he did to them, as though people forget what he did to their families, as though people forgot what he did to the country. No, we didn't. At least this woman, Beryl Cummings Stewart, a fighter, a PNCR fighter, until the last breath she took, she was a fighter. And Beryl Cummings Stewart passed away recently. Back in her days, I've interviewed her a few times on Straight Up, and she had a lot to say about those corrupt vagabonds in the PPP regime. Beryl Cummings Stewart died at a very young age a couple days ago. She died at a very young age, the age of 98. 98, and she was strong, and she was telling it like it is. So that is why it's one of these soldiers. We've got to salute our soldiers. Beryl Cummings Stewart. Travel on safely, my friend, and condolences to her entire family. A soldier, a friend, a fighter, and a member of the People's National Congress Reform. Maybe the PNC General Secretary and others don't know that she passed away. And fair enough, not everything they have to know. So I'm not going to say they know and they didn't know, not everything. She passed away in the US, but she was a fighter for the People's National Congress. People's National Congress, was a member and a fighter. You wouldn't like to know what she said about Jagdeo, right? She was a fighter, she was funny, and she was my friend. And may her peace, may her soul rest in peace, and to all of her relatives and friends, and Junior and Joycelyn, and her granddaughter, Lola. You guys know the Lola, is it? Yeah, that's her name. And Lola, the Lola doll. This is the Lola doll's grandmother. And so, yep, my friend. She was my friend. May her soul rest in peace, and thanks for all that you have done in Guyana. Good night again, and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshop, and you guys saw what happened in Washington, that plane and the helicopter, and then right after that, Trump starts to blame this and blame that and blame this and blame that and blame this and blame that, blame this and blame that, blame this and blame that. Bilal disappeared and returned again, and with a distraction, Bilal, you're paying attention. Whoever Bilal is, Bilal Muhammad, must pay attention. And so Because y'all can't go in Paul's Slow classroom and behave. Otherwise, y'all got to stick to what the subject matter is. I know somebody sucked the teeth. I heard it loud and clear, suck the teeth. But back to the plane crash and the helicopter in Washington. Right off the bat, Trump starts to blame everybody. It's not the best of years, you know. It's going to be a roller coaster. And let me say good night, Vidya. Vidya Singh, how are you doing? Good to see you watching, Vidya. Good to see you. You know, it's the signs are there that it's a different America, and it's not going in the right direction, guys. We've got to say it as it is. It's not going in the right direction. It's foolishness. And you just can't take any and anybody and put them to run a country. Running a country is not easy, you know. How you think those Pakus in Guyana, Barrett and Irfan and these guys, why you think they're not succeeding? There's no evidence that they can succeed. There's no evidence that they have succeeded at anything. It's a mess all the time. They just cannot, and Ian Williams, my apologies. Tom Anderson is still under the weather, so my apologies. He's still under the weather. He is still under the weather. But you can't take Pakus and put them to run a country. And not because those tech guys and those oligarchs and so forth run a company can interpret them as being successful in running a country. Running a country as large as the United States of America, it's not an easy job. And it's not for any Paku. You can run a country with about 750,000 people. I can put my daughter, Emma can run Guyana right now because she has the brains, she has the sense, she knows what to do. Unlike those Pakus, they can't run a country as small as Guyana. Irfan is not, there's no success story. There's no success story with Irfan. There's no success story with the 23 years that they've been in office, and now 4 extra years they've been in office as well. There's no success story. There's no legacy. The only legacy Jack Davis is going to go to her grave. Why do I always say her? The only legacy that he's going to go to his grave with is blood on his hands. The destruction of Guyana. And you guys got to stop it. It's got to stop. So when we saw and we heard the plane crash and the helicopter and so forth in Washington, D.C., right off the bat, Trump blaming everybody. But people are not stupid. People know, they're reading right between the lines, and something, it's like it's an evil spell just took control of the entire system, whether it's immigration, whether it's in Washington, D.C., whether it's with the federal workforce, whether it's at Homeland Security, wherever it is, it's just bad. And you cannot run a country like this. You grab a couple of the bad hombres and you kick them out, you rung them up. All right, fair enough. If you're going to rung people up, those who are undocumented or illegal and they've committed crimes, and you're sending them back. Everybody just, little kids, people, some people even have a application in the system. Some of them are caught up in the crossfire. You don't run a country like that, man. Now, 60-something people died last evening as a result of a crash. People are looking to the president of a country, of the United States of America, what it used to be. In 1986, 87, I believe there was a crash over somewhere in Europe there. A couple of Caribbean people died in that crash. And I recall Ronald Reagan was the president then. We were sitting on the black and white TV watching President President Ronald Reagan extending condolences and all manner of things. There were other presidents in terms of disasters, in terms of whether it's plane crash, whatever. They addressed the American people. They addressed everyone. And first, condolences. And that's what presidents do. That is what real presidents do. Right off the bat, Trump already knows that it was the air traffic controller. Why didn't the air traffic controller tell the helicopter to get out of the way? Why this and why that? And it's this person, and it's that, and it's this, and it's that. And there's no investigations as yet, but he already knows what is what is what. I don't know, man. I don't know. But you guys got to pray. I don't know. Every day is something new. But watch, people are going to start resigning. You know, the oligarchs can't run the government. Maybe they can run their companies, but they're not good for the government. You don't mix people who are all about profits and they get into government and they feel it's their personal business. It's their personal company, and they want to cut 2 million employees here, 2 million there. And while they're cutting employees, they think that they're making themselves look good. They're becoming richer and richer to enrich themselves, proving a point to enrich themselves. And the country suffers. The people suffer. In every country, in the case of the United States of America, had it not been, and let me repeat, had it not been for the 400 plus years of forced labor by African ancestors, there would not have been the United States of America, where people from Europe and Germany and all over are here today to enjoy. Thank you, Quincy Andrews. It was Lockerbie, 1988. I have a good friend died in that plane crash. And then there was also in 1995, or is it 94, somewhere, when the first African American who was Secretary of Commerce under President Bill Clinton, Ron Brown. A friend of mine, Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce, and his press secretary and couple, and some of them, were my friends, especially his secretary, his communications director, and all of them died in that plane crash over Bosnia. And President Bill Clinton came out and he spoke like how presidents should speak in times like these. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that in President Trump. Everything is a fight. Everything is a battle. Everything is an accusation. Everything is a blame game. Running this country is not a blame. You accept responsibility, you stay quiet, and you ensure a proper investigation is done. Millions of people are unhappy. Millions of people are beginning to lose their jobs. People are forced to resign. All because the oligarchs, the greedy oligarchs, think that they can run a country. They're destroying America. America is not back. America is going way back. And we've got to be realistic about especially with what we're seeing. 400 plus years of our African ancestors slaved for this country, free labor. Then in a country where you're looking for equality and the discrimination has been there for so many years, and you have agencies set up to ensure that there's equal opportunity. And those who cannot get through the door, you find a way for them to get through that door. Nothing is wrong with that. But right off the bat, they want to get rid of every single thing. It is not going to work. It's just a matter of time before you see the streets is flooded with people protesting for all sort of things. It's just a matter of time. Condolences to those folks who died in that crash, the military personnel, the military guys, the passengers at that airliner. You know, it's a sad day. Sad day as a result of that crash. Sad day because of families who are being divided, set apart because of a heartless government. It just can't. I don't know. It's like we're in a dream, right? This thing can't be for real. A religious woman spoke, prayed for the nation, prayed for families caught up in the immigration situation, and pray and ask for mercy. Trump is upset. Trump and his people are upset. What's happening? Isn't it the same Trump during his inaugural speech? He said that God kept him alive for a reason. The question is this the reason that God kept him alive for? This is not to show power that you're in there and you could do every and anything to people, destroy lives. I don't know. I just don't know, but we just got to keep watching. Let's head back to Guyana, and before we go back to Guyana, all these things, everybody being rounded up. But I say again, voting, you've got to know what you're voting for, who you're voting for, because it can come back and haunt you, and it can come back and bite you, you know where. And we're seeing it. Good night to some of those folks in Queens. We're seeing it. Businesses gone down. Businesses are closing early o'clock. They're not doing business. And that's it. Look, I told you guys last night I was there on Liberty Avenue, and look at it. Not so long ago, you couldn't find parking on Liberty Avenue. The stores are busy, 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 busy. Go into the stores now and you'll understand what I'm talking about. This reminds me of, though, I wasn't around in Hitler time when Hitler was rounding people up left, right, and center. People were scared, and rightly so. Now people are being rounded up. All over again, people are scared. People should not be in the land of free, as we say. America, our adopted country. If they're going after criminals, fair enough. Due process, get them. If you want to send those criminals out and they're undocumented, fair enough, fair play. But you don't destroy families. Hope to see some changes very soon, though. It's got to change. Got to change. Got to change. Now, Guyana could hardly take care of this corrupt PPP regime. Could hardly. They're destroying Guyana, but yet they're not going to tell you that they've secretly made a plan to accept thousands, tens of thousands of Venezuelan nationals in Guyana who are deported from the United States of America. And the deal is to accept others as well. So by the end of the year, Guyana could have at least 250,000 persons who are deported out of the United States of America. And the corrupt PPP regime, they have already agreed to accept those individuals. Some of them they're going to put in Linden, some of them in Essequibo, some of them in Berbice, all over. Almost 250,000 deportees. Not Guyanese deportees, but deportees. It's going to be a different Guyana. Different Guyana. And what the PPP is doing, I hope they're prepared for the outcome, because it's not going to be easy when you have people from all 250,000 deportees into a country. And especially when they have to survive, they will find ways to survive. And 2,000 men in the Guyana police force cannot secure the country. It just cannot. The PPP is destroying Guyana, guys. They're destroying that entire country. Then let's talk about not just the corruption. Egil, said to be a bishop, walking around presenting himself that he's a bishop. He's a bishop. He's presenting himself, claiming that he is a bishop. And he is going around the country and basically saying, hey, this is road, this is infrastructure, this is development they're talking about. Is this development? Is this development? That's my question to you guys. Is this development? And the reason why I'm asking, is this development, is because they're working for the so-called government, right? You guys notice what I circled there? These are, don't get me wrong, these are hard-working men. But do you guys get what I'm trying to say with this here? Take a look. They have no gears. They have no boots, no nothing. Absolutely nothing. They haven't get nothing. And the PPP just put them out there to work. Look at them. Bare feet. No gloves, no nothing. In an supposed oil-rich country where billions upon billions of dollars, and this is how the government, so-called government, have these people, these young men working. Look at it. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. But come next elections, one way you guys got to vote these people, vote these vagabonds in the PPP out of office. They are destroying the country. They have no plan, they have no policies, they have nothing, absolutely nothing. Look at these young men. Now, if you're a government, if you're part of a government, just imagine if I am the Minister of Infrastructure. I cannot have these young men work like this. We have to protect our workers. What if something fall on the feet of these guys, or their hands, or whatever? No gloves, no boots, no nothing. Shame on the corrupt PPP regime. And contractors, not these fly-by-night hustlers who get a couple dollars hustling to be like everybody. You can't run a country by just walking into communities and giving inexperienced people, because you want them to vote for you, give them and say they become contractors. You give DJ contracts, DJs become contractors, singers become contractors. All manner of things. Party promoters become contractors. What sort of a country you expect to run like? You expect to develop. You expect to develop as the PPP would develop. Even Doggy is a contractor, right? Leslie Hamilton, y'all leave Doggy alone. But seriously, even Doggy is a contractor. What in the world is this? Now, I'm not knocking Doggy or anything, but how are you going to take Doggy and make Doggy a contractor, man? Even Doggy laughing at them. Doggy knows that he's no contractor. But Doggy went to Guyana. He said he set up a little thing. And if they want to make themselves a Paku and give Doggy contracts, well, It is what it is. But that's how you can't run a country like that. You just can't run a country like that. Now, when you give contracts to people, they have to be qualified for that. They have to have the experience and so forth. And some of them might be saying, hey, Leslie, how you know Otisha? Everybody get contract. Otisha get, it's not now Otisha get contract. Yeah. Otisha and Kwame are, stop it. So Otisha get contract. Everybody getting contracts now, right? And the PPP regime, they feel that that's a good thing, that the country is developing. The country is not developing. Even Dottie Dan, critic get contracts. He know but nothing, qualify, he know but nothing. Not so long ago, he couldn't even get a nail clip to clip his filthy nails. He toenails walking down Rob Street with two nasty slippers, long, toenails, long, now them chapa contractors, want to feel that they could talk to people anyhow. Those guys are scavengers. I'm talking about critic and these other, they're scavengers. I'm putting Otisha as a scavenger. Otisha hustling, right? You got hustle Kwame, hustling Kwame, but scavengers like critic and them. A critic, scavenger, hungry belly scavengers, critic. Oh yeah. I don't know, that country. I don't know what to say. And then look at this. I am seriously thinking of getting into the business of, because every single day, every single minute, there's blackouts upon blackouts upon blackouts upon blackouts in Guyana. Every single, right now, some area probably got blackouts. I don't even know if they're watching or listening to the program. Every day, oh man, every single day is a blackout upon blackout upon blackout upon blackout. Every single day. The country cannot develop like that. It cannot. Right, Mr. Andrew and his family out in New Jersey, right? I'm sure you guys are understanding that you cannot develop a country like that at all. All right. Tomatoes watching. Everybody's watching. I don't know, Nancy and the crew. How are you guys doing? Cannot develop a country like that. And so from next week, I will be in business, not immigration business, but I'll be in business. And I hope you guys support me. Those who get their immigration stuff and they call, fair enough. I love you guys. I'm here to help you guys. The best that I can, mind you. The best that I can. But I want to get into another business. And this time around, I will be selling generators. Sorry about that. The operator posted the wrong generator, but since he posted this here, how many of you guys have a generator? You might as well start investing in a generator. No matter how old is it, no matter if it could work, Guyanese can make everything work, right? And every house should get a generator. This corrupt PPP regime, before they waste hundreds of millions of dollars, bringing in 2 ship, GPL ship, spelled you guys know how. Every single day they're wasting taxpayers' monies, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hundreds. Miss Brenda, Casey, I can't answer your question if me know your question. Oh man, I can't see the question. And oh man, everybody, how y'all treat me like that? Like I got to see everything y'all write. And then when I don't, y'all abusing, attacking. I can't chew gum and talk at the same time. But let me see what Brenda Casey's saying here. Mark, please answer my question. Is Marco Rubio is on Guyana? I don't know. Is Marco Rubio is on Guyana? I don't know if Marco Rubio is on Guyana. I don't know. I don't know. Had blackout all day. How I gonna know? The guys them in the opposition should be able to know these things. They got to be on top of their games, Miss Casey. I must admit, I can't know everything. Oh, all you in easy. Everything Marga know. Right, William Cato? And so look, so back to this hundreds of millions of dollars. And so he's going probably Panamanian president. The Panama president said the canal is off the table for discussion. So don't be surprised if he makes a quick stop in Guyana and then a quick stop in Barbados. Do not be surprised, guys. So Michael Paddy, I don't have nobody on. I'm almost off the air tonight, and Michael Paddy asking me if I get David Hines tonight. Right? Hey, we have some special straight up family. Good night to Michael Paddy. Let me see here. So hundreds of millions of dollars they are wasting. But this is what real governments do, right? Buy a generator, not a generator looking like Sam Hines. And you guys know when I said this generator looking like Sam Hines, I really do mean it, right? I really do mean it because it looks like Sam Hines for real. There's no difference. No difference. Why not give every household in Guyana a generator? One generator per family. So when they get blackout, the people just turn on their generator. Story done. That is how you get a country to be productive. That is how people progress and move forward in a country. But when you get constant blackouts, how do you expect businesses to succeed? How do you expect our school children to succeed? How do you expect our elderly folks like Janice M. Johnson, Matthew Dennison, Kunta Kinte Jinga, Leslyn Hamilton, our elderly like them, Hazel Johnson, Linda Baker, Ian Williams, and so forth. Young people like Benny Raymond and Brenda Casey and those folks, they're young. But we got to talk about the elderly folks. I don't know, man. I just don't know. One generator per family will develop that country, Guyana. One generator. A few years ago, they had one laptop per family, and it was massive corruption. Corruption for Jagdeo and the boys, his boys, them. Corruption galore. They even put Liklip Kwame in charge of the laptops. And you know when he goes around and he see the boys, then he's going to give them one or two, right? And that's what they were doing. And so you guys have to advocate for one generator per family. One generator per family. And you'll see how that country will develop. We've got to do things, and that is why we need a proper government. A proper government in place. These hustlers in the PVP are not government. They're not government officials. They're hustlers. They're schemers. They're flatfoot hustlers. That's who they are. All of them hustling. You go in their bank accounts right now. Prior to them getting into government, they barely had sugar cake money. Now they're filthy rich. Go and check where Mustafa Zulfikar used to live at Bloomfield. Check his house right now. He get probably one of the biggest houses right now out there. Family members get contracts upon contracts and all manner of things. That is how they're running the government. Friends, families, and favorites. They don't care about you, the people. So they don't care about the blackouts. Y'all could get blackouts. Y'all could complain how much y'all want to complain. They may get time with y'all. Meanwhile, in Parliament, this opposition member of parliament. He stood up. Of course, he was being sarcastic. But when was the last time you heard anything about this parliamentarian? I'm told that he's my relative. I don't know how accurate that is, but everybody wants to be my relative, right? Okay. So he got there, he said, and this is according to HGP Nightly News. Meanwhile, opposition MP, Member of Parliament Richard Sinclair said he cannot support the 2025 national budget because he did not get the promised 100,000 cash grant. Of course, he was being sarcastic in Parliament. And so Travis Chase thought it funny to carry this here. But I don't know how serious this MP was. But, Parliament is a serious place. He vexed, his bum's raised because he didn't get the 100,000 cash grant. Oh, Father. Oh, Father. Oh, Father. Simone Jessamy, help me, please. Colin Barnwell, help me, please. Can I ask Francine Cruz to help, because Francine, she is a case study by herself. Good night to Miss Francine Cruz and all those folks up the nursing home. Hope all is well with you guys. In fact, speaking of Francine and the crew, coming up soon, I have a bunch of pull-ups. I will be sending them to some nursing homes in Guyana, and maybe a couple of, we don't need to send that to nursing homes in the US. They should be okay. And you guys over at your nursing home, if you need help with that in Guyana, let me know. We got some pull-ups. We'll be more than happy. Compliments of a very dear listener on this program. Maybe she's watching tonight. If any of you need pull-ups or so forth, please, let us know. Right here on 107.1 FM. Guys, when I slow down with the energy, you know exactly what time it is. And so I leave you here tonight and ask the question, why has the opposition been quiet? Not a press release, not a nothing on the death anniversary of Ronald Waddell, who was assassinated under the PPP regime. And it is said that senior members of the PPP regime carried out the order to assassinate Ronald Waddell on this day, January 30th, 2006. Jack Dale and the PPP have blood on their hands. I'm out of here, guys. Keep Waddell and others in mind, and don't ever have the PPP try to make anybody feel guilty for exposing them. Rhonda Lane says, Mark, can I have someone who needs pull-up? Oh, you have someone who needs pull-ups. All right. We'll make arrangement, Rhonda. Rhonda Lane, whatever you want, you get. Whatever I can afford, and I'm sure whatever listeners can afford. We like soldiers like Rhonda Lane. So if Rhonda Lane wants some pull-ups for somebody, right, Rhonda Lane? Rhonda Lane wants pull-ups for somebody. We got you, Rhonda. And to all of you, continue to be safe. Those of you who are fearful, continue to be safe, guys. If you have an immigration petition that's in the system, you can very well be saved by that. You can very well be saved. Someone called and said, hey, they self-deporting. Sometimes, if you can find ways to correct your immigration status, do that. The lawful way, do it. The law allows you to do that. The immigration laws allow you to do that. Do not panic, guys. Just do what is right. Some of you were told this over a year, over 2 years ago to get it right. It's not too late to get it right. If you have a petition in the system, at least that petition can save you. If you have an approved I-130, at least that can save you. But be smart, be calm, be cautious, and be honest. Stick with what the law says. I'm out of here, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. And again, salute to my good friend, someone who paid her dues, PNCR stalwart, Beryl Cummings Stewart. May her soul rest in peace. And as we remember Waddell, we say shame on this demon, Barrett Jackdale. Shame on them. Hopefully the opposition guys will remember those who paid the ultimate price. Unfortunately, the opposition guys, they seem not to be in the mood to remember people or to pay homage to those who made sacrifices for that country. God bless you all. See you tomorrow. Same place, same time. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata from City, Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give a $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.